All right. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to this morning's class. I'm glad those of you that made it could make it, and maybe some of you are watching this after, but welcome. If you have any yoga props, just having them somewhat close to where your mat is, you can grab them. And we're going to start up on our seat this morning. So taking a moment to wiggle around, get settled, maybe have something to sit up on if you have a block or a cushion. Give yourself a couple deep breaths. Maybe a couple clearing breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes, close your eyes. If not, soften your gaze down just slightly. And let's connect into our breath. So finding a rhythm for your inhale and your exhale. So that with each breath in, you're lengthening a little bit, maybe drawing your shoulders back, lifting up through the top of your head. And with each exhale, settling into your body, settling towards the floor with your sit bones. And since it's Thanksgiving today, let's pull in the theme of gratitude. And taking a moment to reflect even on one thing that you're grateful for this morning. And if there's more than one thing, to start to remind yourself or think of all the things that you're grateful for right now. Let's take a couple deep breaths into our heart space. If you'd like to take both hands over your heart, you can. And just feeling your breath moving into your heart. Feel a little bit of an expansion or an opening with each breath in. There's an intention you want to hold for today's practice, or perhaps there's you'd like to send the energy of you practicing to somebody else that might need it today. Take a moment to reflect on that. And then I'm going to open today's practice with the sound of Om. So you're welcome to listen at home or join in with me from home. So starting with the clearing breath, take a deep breath in. Exhale completely. And then inhale for Om. Your eyes are closed or your gaze is softened downward. Take a moment to open your eyes. We're going to come around into child's pose to begin today. So taking your time to move into child's pose and finding either your knees a little bit wider or with your arms forward or knees closer with your arms alongside you. Connecting to your breath here. Noticing your breath moving into the back of your body with each breath in, and then a softening through the front of your body as you breathe out. Just a couple more breaths here. We're going to rise up to tabletop. So hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Just remembering that child's pose is an option to come back to anytime you may need it. Anytime you want to pause or you want to come out of what we're doing. And if anything's not working for you at any time, just letting it go, finding something that does. So let's take a moment to draw our navel towards our spine, connect through our arms, so feel the strength through your arms into your hands. And then on your next exhale, we'll round our spine, chin towards your chest. Then breathe in, lift your heart, lift your sit bones, take your shoulders back. And we'll continue to move in this way, arching and rounding, cat and cow, moving with your breath. And then adding maybe some more dynamic or fluid movement here. So a little bit of movement with your hips side to side. You can make some big circles or any other movement that feels good for you here. So continue to move in a way that supports you. And then let's make our way back to the center as we started, navel drawing in towards the center of your body, shoulders back, and really rooting through your arms here. Another big breath. So we're going to walk our hands back. We're going to come up onto our knees. I'm going to turn to face the side. And you're welcome to also turn to face the side as we extend the leg out. Now, you could support your right knee, a blanket underneath your right knee, but we'll extend our left foot out here. So you could turn on your mat as well, as long or not. You can just extend your leg out from where you're at. Let's bring our left hand to our left leg, shoulders back, hips are drawing forward here. And then let's extend our right arm up, finding a bit of length. So you may pause here or you may tip over and start to lean towards your left side. And then feeling a stretch, a lengthening through your right side. Breathing here, softening your shoulder blades onto your back. Couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to return to the center. We're going to bring our right hand all the way down to the floor here. Hips drawing forward, shoulders drawing back, and maybe extending our left arm up. Feeling your left foot root and maybe extending over even. Couple more breaths. And then we're going to look down. Let's sweep our hands forward. And let's come back for a moment. Let's take a pause, sitting back on our heels. So for those of you that were live, I was telling you about my cat wanting to go outside and being really annoying this morning. Anyways, he's just staring at me through the glass door. And I think he wants in now. So I'll let him in soon. We're going to come to this other side first. So extending out through your right leg. Right hand to your right leg. And again, a little bit of support underneath your bottom knee needed, a little cushion or a folded up blanket. Let's extend our left arm up, shoulders back, and we're going to lean over to the right side. Breathing here, shoulders back, hips facing forward or hips drawing forward even. And then as you're ready, we're going to lift back up. Let's bring our left hand down, hips forward again, pressing through your right foot. Extend your right arm up or maybe over. Couple breaths here. And then we're going to look down. Let's sweep our hands forward and down. Bring our leg in. Sit back on your heels for a moment and take a couple breaths here. Okay, buddy, this is the last time. Go find something to do. I just have to tell this story really quick. So I had a glass of water that I brought myself for yoga practice. And it was a different glass of water. And before I started, my cat was running around trying to drink out of it. So I just decided to give him that glass of water and bring myself another one. Just if you hear him, he's drinking out of a glass. He's so weird. So sorry. He's such a distraction sometimes. Okay, so we're going to come back to tabletop facing the front of our mat. And a couple things here. I'm going to create a little bit of an opening through our front of our chest and in child's pose. So I have a couple of blocks. Now you don't need to have blocks, but I'm going to show you with and without the blocks. So with the blocks, I'm going to bring the blocks fairly wide. I'm going to bring so that my elbows are up on the blocks. The forehead comes down. And then I'm going to walk my elbows forward as comfortable as it is, and then palms together to touch. And then from here, I'm going to work my thumbs towards the space of my upper back. Some of you may not be able to get your thumbs there. And then I'm going to walk my elbows forward a bit more and then stretch my hips back. Now you can also do this without the blocks. So you could have your forearms or elbows on the floor, on your mat. Same idea. Walking your elbows forward. And then moving your thumbs back here. And then melting your heart towards the floor. And then a couple more breaths. And then let's rise and come back up, tabletop. And one more with blocks or without blocks. This time I'll show this with blocks, but you can have your hands on the floor. You could have yourself up to fingertips. So my palms and my wrists are on the blocks and I'm melting my heart down. And this time my hips are lifted. My hands as wide as it's comfortable, just to bring my shoulders back and down a bit here. Couple deep breaths into your heart space. And then let's bring our hands down and let's move a couple times. Hi. Hey. Okay, so we're going to move into downward facing dog. And of course, you can always skip down dog for those of you that are not coming to down dog, come into child's pose or standing forward fold. But from down dog, let's walk it out a little bit here. I really wished I would have got organized with some kind of like turkey thing or something, some kind of outfit for this class. I think about this this woman I used to work with that had the turkey on her head. It was so awesome. So anyway, hi. You're being annoying today, huh? Yeah. Hello, you slept for the last 3 days and now you're just all over me. Hi. It's cat yoga today. Hello. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, you're so sweet. Let's move towards a standing forward fold as you're ready. Hopefully your pet is not in your way today. Maybe it is as well, so that's okay. Grabbing opposite elbows or letting your arms hang. Come here. Let's take a few deep breaths. I've walked my feet a little wider apart today, just as I'm a little bit stiff through the backs of my legs and into my hips. So feel free to create a wider stride stance. Ooh, do you want to come do yoga? No. Come here. And then let's take our hands to our shins or blocks and lift up halfway. Take a breath in and then exhale to fold back in. We'll do that a few times, moving with the rhythm of your breath, the length of your breath, inhaling to lift up and exhaling to fold in. And one more time, inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold in. And then let's take a ragdoll and come up to stand. Taking your time, shoulders back, circling your shoulders back a couple times. And if you're not right at the front of your mat, you could step forward slightly and bring your feet in a bit. Let's interlace our hands behind us, shoulders back, maybe straighten out your arms here, take a breath in, and then let's bend our knees slightly and forward fold. Now, if you're lifting your arms up, you can pause here for a couple breaths. And as you're ready, releasing your arms down towards the floor. And then we'll take an inhale to lift up halfway. And then exhale to fold in. And then let's take a big step back with our left foot. Let's bring our left knee down. You could place a cushion block or something underneath your back knee if you like. And then let's rise up for a low lunge here. So hands to your hips, settling into your front knee. You could pause here. You can reach your arms up. Today I'm going to bend my elbows wide. So from the front looks like this. Elbows in line with my shoulders, palms facing forward, shoulders back. Couple big breaths here. Let's bring our hands down. Let's straighten out our front legs. So I'm going to walk my front foot forward a bit, my back knee back, and then lift the bottom of my foot. For me, it helps to have blocks here. So you could place a block underneath your back knee. You could have blocks underneath your hands. And as much as your front leg can straighten out, you can straighten it. Connecting to your breath here. If you'd like to fold or you can fold in, you could begin to fold forward. Couple more breaths here, relaxing through your shoulders. Now let's bring our front foot back and either down dog or child's pose. Let's take about 5 or 6 breaths here. Now, as you're ready, let's step our left foot forward. So either from tabletop or from downward dog, and placing our back knee down, let's rise up to a little lunge on the second side. So as you come up here, you could change your arm variation. You could take your arms up overhead again. You could even bring your hands behind you, elbows in, clasping your hands, or straightening your arms out. Connecting to your breath. And then as you're ready, let's bring our hands down. And again, back knee moves back slightly, front leg straightens out. And let's lift the bottom of our foot. I'm going to use blocks again here. Let's flex our toes and square our hips, and then maybe fold in here. Couple deep breaths. As you're ready, we're going to bring that front foot back. And again, child's pose or down dog. Let's take a few breaths. Being so silly. Okay. We're going to come from downward dog. We're going to step our right foot forward, and we're going to come to warrior two. So back heel comes down. We're going to stand all the way up, lining up our front heel with the middle. Ow! You witnessed that. You just bit me while you tried to bite me. He's getting my attention. He's being so annoying. I should have locked him up into his room, into my room. Let's bend into our front knee. Back leg is straight. Arms extending out. Warrior two here. What a Thanksgiving treat for me. Oh boy. If you need to relax your shoulders a bit more, it's hard to see in the camera, but turn your palms to face up and then relax your shoulders down. Sometimes I really feel that helps rather than having my palms down, shoulders up, turning my palms up, relaxing my shoulders down. Just an option here. Now I'm going to straighten out our front leg. Take a breath in, reach forward. Front hand comes down to a block or to your shin. Back hand reaches up here. Hello. I am not paying attention to you and you get mad. You're so silly. And then let's come all the way back up and let's bend back into our front knee. Back hand now on our back leg, front palm faces up. We're going to reach up and back. Stop biting me. And then come back to the center. Straighten out your front leg. Let's bring our toes to face the long edge of our mat. Let's take a deep breath in here, and then let's forward fold. I'm going to go back outside. You're being annoying. This is the most annoying yoga you've ever been. Yeah. You should come for a visit and then leave. What's going on? Oh, get out of here. Oh my, sorry you guys. This is just not the most relaxing yoga class so far. I'm going to go move him in a second. So forward folding in. Let's take about 5 more breaths. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Okay. You had fun, but that's not fun for me. Okay, I sincerely apologize for my cat today. So let's lift up halfway from the wide-legged forward fold. Let's walk ourselves around to the front of our mat. So we're in a high lunge place here. So front knees bent, back leg is straight. I'm going to use my blocks again here to straighten out my front leg as well and lift high up on my back heel, lift my back heel high, my hips lifting up, and then I'm going to fold in. So there's a stretch through the back of my front leg here. Relaxing through your shoulders. And then when you're ready, let's bend back into our front knee. Let's bring our back knee down to the ground. We're going to take a twist towards our front leg. So you can walk your right foot a little wider, turn your toes out, turn towards your right front leg and shoulders back here. And maybe your hand comes to your hips, or you could reach your arm up here. And then as you come down, option to come into child's pose or downward facing dog, your choice. Couple clearing breaths. And if you're in child's pose, making your way to tabletop or down dog, where we'll step our left foot forward. We're going to come up to warrior two. So lining up your front heel with the middle of your back foot, bending into your front knee here. Arms extended out. And remember, you can turn your palms up to find that little bit of softness through your shoulders, especially if you tend to bring your shoulders up. Up and around your ears. And feeling the stability through your legs, especially your back foot. Really anchoring through your back legs to your front knees, not taking all of the weight. Now let's begin to straighten out our front leg. Let's reach forward for triangle pose. Front hand comes down to your shin or a block. Back hand can be on your hip or reaching up here. Let's come all the way back up to stand. Let's bend back into our front knee. This time, back hand comes to your back leg. Front palm faces up. Let's reach up and or reaching back. And coming back to the center, let's straighten out our front leg and turn both feet again to the long edge of your mat. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold here again. This time, option to clasp your hands behind you, and as you fold, you could reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Sometimes I feel like that creates a bit more tension for my shoulders, so feel free to release and just bring your hands to the floor anytime. Connecting to your breath here. Couple more breaths. If your hands are still behind you, release your hands to the floor and let's lift up halfway. And then let's walk our hands around to the front, to our left foot, to our front foot, and bring your back knee. Oh no, sorry. Oh, getting ahead of myself. So keep your back knee lifted. We're going to lift our back heel, straighten our front leg. I'm going to use blocks here to fold forward and down. And then when you're ready, bend back into your front knee, place your back knee down on the ground, and you can walk your left foot a bit wider, turn towards your left leg, and you could have your hand on your hip or reaching up here. And then let's bring our hands down. Let's step back, either child's pose for a few breaths or down dog, your choice. We'll take about 5 or 6 breaths here. So either from tabletop or down dog, we're going to step or walk ourselves into a forward fold, folding in here. And then let's take a nice ragdoll up to stand, coming up to mountain pose. And taking a moment to pause. Okay. So we're going to work into a standing balance, and then from that standing balance, we're going to transition. So I'll show you what the transition looks like here. So I'm going to stand on my right foot, grab the top of my left foot, and for a thigh stretch here. So this pose for me is quite challenging. Some people can move back a little bit more into dancer pose. I'm going to just focus on the stretch through the front of my leg right now. And we're going to stay here for, I don't know, 5 or 6 breaths. And then we'll release and we're going to step back and come to warrior one. So if you're already there, that's okay. But grabbing a hold of your left foot. If you need a wall support, please feel free to have a wall or a stable piece of furniture beside you for a bit of support. And then from here, shoulders back. Lifting up your right hand, right arm, shoulders back, and maybe kicking back a bit here into a back bend. Now, when you're ready, let's return to the center, release your foot, and let's step our left foot back, planting your back heel, and we're coming to warrior one, so bending into your front knee. Let's reach our arms overhead. We're going to place our hands on our hips. We're going to lift our back heel, lean forward, and lift your back knee up towards your chest, and then back down to the ground. We'll shake that out a little bit. So no worries if you can't get your front leg all the way, just stepping it forward is totally fine. Okay, so standing on your left foot, grabbing a hold of your right foot, shoulders back, reaching your left arm up, and then maybe kicking back a bit here and coming into a bit of a back bend. As you're ready, we'll come back to the center, release our foot, stepping your right foot back here into warrior one. Now we'll transition forward. Remember, you can step forward or you can lean forward, lift your right knee up, and then bring your foot down. And let's shake it out a little bit here. So we're going to come into squat pose. I'm going to turn to the side for a moment. And we're going to move a couple times. So let's take a breath in here. Exhale, hands come to heart center and begin to move down into squat pose. Some of you may pause with your elbows above your knees. Some of you may move further into squat pose. So that's your choice. We'll take a couple breaths here. Now we're going to press down, lift up, reach your arms up. Hands to heart center. Take a moment here. And then let's inhale, reach our arms up. And then exhale, let's come back down into squat pose. This time we'll hold for a little bit longer. If you need to come out sooner, just coming onto your seat whenever you need. And as you're ready, coming back down onto your seat, I'm going to lean back. You're welcome to extend your legs forward and shake them out, or as I am, moving your knees a few times side to side here. Shaking out. So we're going to come into a couple of hip openers here. The first one being lizard pose. And this one I'm going to use blocks. I'm going to step forward here so you can see what I'm talking about. Front foot comes wider. Back knee moves further back. And then from here, you can stay up on your hands. If you have blocks, you could either lift up a bit higher. Some of you may use the blocks to come down a bit lower. So this is lizard. You could create a bit of movement here. You could come out for a second, come back in, whatever it is that you need. So we'll be here for maybe 5 or 6 breaths, more breaths. So if you're not there yet, come on in. And we'll hang out here for a bit of time. Always knowing you can come out sooner. Just a couple more breaths here. As you're ready, making your way out, and any kind of movement or anything that you need to release from that before coming to the other side. Some of you may want to come right to the other side right away. And then just allowing yourself to feel what the side needs. And just check that your front knee's over your ankle here, so it's not popping forward. Couple clearing breaths. Last couple breaths here. And then as you're ready, we'll come back out and some movement or perhaps child's pose. Okay, so we're going to come back up. We're going to come up to our seat here. As we come up to our seat, you could sit up on a folded blanket or a cushion. You could extend, let's extend our legs forward, but you could use a strap here or not. So if you have a yoga strap, no worries. You will lengthen out through your spine by pressing your fingertips beside you and then lean forward, okay? And if you're leaning forward a lot, you can hold your legs and lean forward a bit more. If you have a strap or some sort of belt like this, then you could use the strap to around the bottoms of your foot to lengthen and then draw yourself forward and down. And wherever it is that you are, connecting into your breath. And as you're ready, let's lift back up. And you can lean back and release your feet a few times. You could also bend your knees, feet on the ground, and release your knees a few times side to side. So before we come onto our back, some of you may come into pigeon pose, which not everyone will. So either pigeon pose here, folding in. If you're not coming into pigeon pose because it's a bit much on your knee, come to your back now and come into figure four here or here, okay? So either one, pigeon or figure four. Connecting to your breath, and as we slow down the movements and hold a little longer, sometimes your mind can become busy again. So perhaps going through all the things that you're grateful for again here. Or maybe there's other things that have come to your mind. Coming back to how you want to feel. And then take some time to come out of that side, especially if you're in pigeon pose. You may want to give yourself a little bit of a release from that side. If you're into figure four, giving yourself a bit of release as well, shaking out your legs or moving your knees side to side. And then we'll come to the other side as you're ready. Relaxing your shoulders, connecting to your breath. As you're ready, let's release that side. And again, give yourself a little bit of movement or release here. If you were in pigeon pose, you'll make your way onto your back now. And once you're on your back, or if you're on your back already, bring your knees up into your chest. Make some movement, rocking or circling a little bit here. And then let's take a twist to one side. So let's bring our hips to the left, knees up and over to the right. And if you can't settle your knees down, you could place a block or a cushion underneath the outside of your bottom knee. You could also extend your arms or keep your arms closer to you. When you're ready, let's come back to the center and twist to the other side here. And then as you're ready, let's come back to the center. And let's move ourselves back into the middle of our mat, and option to hug your knees to your chest and rock a little bit here, or take your arms on the inside of your legs. You can hold your knees wide. You can grab your ankles or your feet for happy baby pose. Letting your shoulder blades come back down towards the floor. Lots of breath here. As you're ready, let's release that. And let's take a big body stretch here. So extending your legs forward, arms overhead. You could have your fingers interlaced. So when you're ready, we'll make our way into Shavasana. If you have some support, like a bolster, maybe a blanket or a sweater, get yourself ready for Shavasana. And once you're lying down, take a clearing breath or two here, in through your nose, out to your mouth. And maybe once or twice more, and each time you exhale, allowing your energy and the weight of your body to just settle towards the floor. And to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your body with some gentle movement. A couple more deep breaths. Give yourself a full body stretch or hug your knees back into your chest. And taking your time to come to your side. So rolling over to one side. And making your way up to your seat as you're ready. As you come up to your seat, take a moment to connect back to your breath, breathing into your heart space with some gratitude. It's been an interesting year. Interesting is an interesting word to describe 2020, but as I move through this year, there's always these little pockets of gratitude, or there's all these wonderful things that are happening if I choose to look at those things. So one of my regular practices is to write down the things that I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's really easy to see all the things that aren't going so great, that maybe aren't going the way we had hoped or planned. But I gotta trust that everything's working out as it should be. And in those ways, that those things that aren't happening the way they should, or I thought they should be, there's always these little gifts. So see if you can reflect again on a couple of things that you're grateful for in this moment, or even just this year. And I'm super grateful definitely for everybody who's been supporting me through this journey, online especially, as it's so new for me and so many others as I navigate my way through all of this. So I appreciate you being here, whether you're here in this class live or watching a recording afterwards. I'm so grateful for all of you. So thank you so much. And have a wonderful day. Namaste. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a good one.